Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I wanted to go over the misunderstood feelings, pain, complexities of being a dismissive avoidant or how they feel, okay? And it doesn't feel like pain for an avoidant, but once you start healing, you start realizing it probably is described as that. It's mainly the barriers, actually, is probably a better way to describe it, of how they feel being a dismissive avoidant. And I'm going to be completely transparent. And a lot of y'all know this. I used to be avoidant as well. And so a lot of these, and I work with a lot of avoidants. So a lot of these come from that perspective, but it also comes from what I remember feeling. And sometimes I still battle with these feelings. Most of them I don't feel anymore, but it'll help you guys to understand that I know that dismissive avoidance probably make you feel alone and not good enough, and I understand that. And a lot of dismissive avoidants don't realize that right away, or they do, but they don't know what to do about it. And I do understand that. And so I'm not saying for you to pity avoidance and that suddenly you have to change yourself and you have to adjust. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying understanding their psychology and why they are the way they are can help you. And the first one, which I feel is the most important, because this was a reoccurring theme in my life, and it's really common with my patients as well, that they feel like nothing they do is ever good enough for you or other people. It feels suffocating. And I remember this theme is something I battled with a lot. Nothing's ever good enough. You always want more. And I'm not saying you do, but that's what it feels like. I can change X, Y, and Z, and you can't see it, or you still want A, B, and C. And this is a very difficult feeling as an avoidant because it doesn't make you feel like you dislike yourself and you want to change. It does not motivate you to change. In fact, it motivates you to leave, or it motivates you to feel like there's nothing I can do. What's the point? You don't see the good in the relationship because this feeling is very overwhelming. And if you are a person who your partner might have mentioned this or expressed this, it's very important for you as the partner to reassure them that what they're doing is good, or not always point to things they're not doing. Don't give them millions of articles that they're avoidant or that they're cold or that what they said is not right. All you're doing is pushing them away. I'm being honest, it doesn't help that much. It can help sometimes, but very minimal. It's very important to balance this with positive things. I really appreciate that you showed up to that event just like you said you would. I know for you guys, you think that you're just babying them, right? And I get that. A lot of people, even when I remember, people would always say like, why do I have to make you do this? Why can't you do it on your own? The reason is because that's not who I was, who I am. I don't want to. And I know that can be triggering, but I'm telling you the truth, what I remember feeling. And I know a lot of dismissive avoidants feel that way. It doesn't matter to me. It matters to you. So why should I feel a way that you feel? You want me to feel. I don't feel that way. I can't tell you why. Now I can tell you why, but back then I couldn't. And a lot of avoidants cannot tell you why. They don't know what they're supposed to do. And even when they do it, you think that's the bare minimum or that's the expectation. And so now it's still not good enough, even though they put so much effort into doing that for you. Let's say you wanted them to be your +1 at a wedding. And for them, they really didn't want to go. They don't like your friends. It's not a good situation. They wanted to stay home and do whatever they were planning to do. That was their plan. But they did that for you. And that's still not good enough because you're mad that maybe they wanted to leave earlier. They were in a grouchy mood. I get that. Probably shouldn't have been. And I remember doing that. But at least I appreciate that you showed up. I think to manage this in your relationship is appreciate. This is one of the biggest barriers that I remember having and a lot of my patients remember having. If they don't feel like they're good enough, they probably will end up leaving or check out emotionally. So please remember this, okay? The next one, which I remember struggling with as well, and a lot of avoidants do as well, they already know they're difficult. So why do you even stay? You're reminding me that I'm difficult. You're telling me that I don't compromise or I'm rigid, or I'm stubborn, or I don't want to change. I remember hearing all of those things, and they're negative things, and you're right. But why do you stay then? And I'm not saying you shouldn't. It's good. It's wonderful. But I'm just remembering how it felt like. That's what it feels like. If you are staying, but you're basically yelling, that's what it feels like, or you're nagging me, or you're pressuring me. To me, first of all, what do I do with that? You're just, the only option I feel is to either distance, stay, or lie. And I was not really the type of person to lie, but it almost felt like you were making me have to lie. And I'm not saying that's true. That's what it felt like, because you don't like me for who I am, but you still want me, but you want me to change. So it feels like there's no option. And I see that you're in pain, and a lot of avoidants have mentioned this. I feel like my partner's in a lot of pain, so I want to do it, but then I can't lie because that'll make them mad, but I can't change myself today, so what do I do? Maybe the option is I have to leave so they can be happy and be with someone else. That's a thought. And so if you recognize that, like I had mentioned, don't point out all the negatives they do. Positive reinforcement. You're a person that I really like, or I appreciate who you are. I appreciate that you're structured. I appreciate that you're intelligent, whatever it is, so that you can help them recognize that's why you stay. Because if you're always saying the negative things, they don't know why you stay. Remind them of the reasons you stay so that they feel like, okay, you do like me. I'm going to adjust some of those things because you do like who I am. You just don't like those little things about me. I can change that, right? Now, it doesn't happen overnight, but it's something to remember, okay? The next one, another reoccurring theme I remember, and I know this one's going to probably be triggering. This whole thing might be triggering, okay? But I remember feeling like this a lot. You have no idea how much I put up with. I know that's hard, okay? But avoidants put up with things too. Maybe not the same things y'all put up with, and I can appreciate that. But you don't realize that even being with you is a little bit of a compromise. I know that's scary, and I know it's hard to hear, but a lot of avoidants truly, especially if they're really dismissive avoidant, they really don't mind being alone. They honestly don't care, truly. That's what it felt like. And of course, that's a wound, but if they're gonna stay in that wound, that's how they feel. They don't need you. They want you, but you don't realize how much they put up with by being with you, because they could be by themselves. They want to be by themselves sometimes, but they compromise that for you. And I know it sounds so bad. I hate hearing myself say it out loud because I know that's not really the way I think anymore, but it is what I used to feel. And I know a lot of avoidants feel that way still. A lot of my patients say this to me. And I think that's really important to recognize that sometimes you don't realize, because you would be completely automatic and fine with letting somebody in. For you, it's not a lot, but for an avoidant, it really is. It's a lot to put up with. Just something to think about, okay? The next one is, I hate saying this one because it makes people upset, but it's important too. This is like a negative thought, okay? It's not something that would be ever said out loud, but a lot of dismissive avoidants feel this way, okay? There are actually things that I want you to change too, but you're not going to listen and you're not going to change, so it doesn't matter. I know that you might change, but dismissive avoidants feel like you won't. It's too unstable. I'm not saying you're unstable, but maybe you're not going to take it well, or you won't understand. And so what's the point in telling you? My opinion doesn't matter. That's really how they feel. I'm telling you the truth. The next one is, this is also a feeling that came up a lot. And a lot of my patients feel this way. This one's really common that shows up in therapy. They would say, I don't mind a relationship. I don't mind being with you. I don't even mind getting married someday, when they're deeper in their healing, right? But I know my wants and my expectations are not going to be met by you. So what's the point of a relationship? It's a negative thought. It's a limiting belief, but it is how they feel. The next one, I'm actually really sorry for how you feel. Like I feel bad that I hurt you. I actually feel bad for who I am. I don't know how to make it better without abandoning myself. So often you make me feel like it's me versus you. And I know you guys are not doing that, but that's what it feels like. Because I have to either abandon you or myself. And avoidance, who's the person that was always there for them? If you're an avoidant, you know the answer is yourself. Who was there for you when things got rough? Who was the only person there and saw all of your pain and helped you out of it? Yourself. So why would you abandon that who is loyal to you? So who do you end up abandoning? Your partner. Now, you have to remember, as an avoidant or the partner of the avoidant, you can't make it look like you versus them. In a lot of fights, especially anxious, preoccupied, they will make it feel like, do this or you're done. Or I cannot do it if you don't. I can't stay in this relationship if you don't fix this. So what is it suddenly? Me versus you. If you make a disagreement or anything look like you versus them, they're going to choose themselves, because they are loyal to themselves. And I know that's hard to hear. And once the relationship is deeper, their loyalty will shift. Their loyalty towards you will become strong as well. But you got to remember, especially in the first beginning stages, you just entered their life. Let's say they're in their 20s. Even in late teens, they have been loyal to themselves. That the person that never betrayed them is that for many years themselves. You, maybe you're just 6 months in, that cannot compete, at least not right away. Once that you start connecting and being comfortable with them and they're comfortable with you, their loyalty will start shifting to you as well, because they realize this human connection feels good and someone actually loves me other than myself. This feels really good. I can do this, right? That starts showing up, but it doesn't show up in the beginning. And so it's really important to recognize. And the last one, which is mostly when they're triggered. I make you so angry and so hurt, and you seem to just hate me and dislike me. So maybe it's best that I leave or that you leave me. It's best that you leave. Go find someone else. Maybe you can date my sister or my friend, whatever it is, because I clearly make you upset and I don't know what to do. Now, this is probably really triggering. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, how is this misunderstood? This is terrible. This is cruel or whatever it is. But I'm just telling you, this is the stuff that dismissive avoidance battle in relationships. Not all of them. I can make a huge list, but to be honest, I don't want it to get too personal. I don't like to be too personal on YouTube. And this one obviously is a little bit more personal because it is who I used to be. But I still hope this video was helpful for some. A lot of people asked for this. So I hope this was helpful. I also want to mention this is common for both male and female, right? I'm a female. And so I know more dismissive avoidants tend to be male based on the research, but there are female dismissive avoidants as well. So just letting you know, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.